Okay, today we continue talking about the Precalculus lesson 3, the basic math concept, which is called intervals, union, and intersection. The intervals we actually studied in the middle school or high school, union, intersection. That is very important concept while you're going higher level of mathematics if you wanted to prove something, or even in computer science in algorithm. And sometimes in programming, it's going to be require those concepts. And I'm going to be show you how this is going to be programmed in C++ later on. And first, let's just give you some examples of how you can just show what is the sets, the union, and also the intersection. So let's assume if there is a set that has, we define as S, that has 5 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you have another set that is T. And it's going to be 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then you're going to have the third set, which is 1, and this is 2. And then the third set is going to be V. It's going to be 6, 7, and 8. So now the question is asking what is the union of S union T? So S is supposed to be like a circle that has 5 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is all in this whole circle. And then T is going to be another circle that has 5, 4, and 6. And then V is going to be this circle that has 6, 7, and also 8. S union T, that means whatever that is showing in S and has also must go, whatever shows in V, it must all go together. So if the elements that shows in S, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the elements that is in shows in T, which is 4 and 5, but 6 and 7, which is not included. But since the union, we have to include not only the same elements, but also we have to add the new elements that is not in S. But if we have another elements that's not in S, and then but is in T, then we have to add all of them together. Once you feel the repeat, so the trick is you write all the elements from S and all the elements from T. If you find exactly the same elements that appeared again, that you just cross them out. So you have 2 4s and you cross 1 4. And you have 2 5, you cross 1 5. The rest are all the unique, so that you just keep the same. And then the answer for this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Um, this is for the union. And then the next question is asking whether what is S is going to be intersect T. So S intersect T, that means whatever common of S and the set in S and whatever in common of in T. And then we have to union them, we have to find exactly the same element from the S and exactly the same element in V or in T. So now the trick is we want to do the same process. we wanted to write all the element from S. We just to repeat this process again. And then this time we want actually circle them out of exactly the same that appears more than once. So if it appears more than once, that you can circle them out. 4, I see two times. And 5, I see 2 times. 6 and 7, 1, 2, and 3 only appeared once. So basically, in this case, that you only have 2 elements that appear 2 times, which is 4 and 5. Okay. And then what if you do exactly the same thing about S intersect V? So S element, so if we write all the element down, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we also write down all the elements from V. It's going to be 6, 7, and 8. Can we actually find any element that is paired more than once? No. If we don't find any element that is paired one more than once, that basically means there are no element that is in the intersect. So we just write as empty set. Okay. And then there is another concept that is actually introduced in the computer science algorithm. So if you have a set, which is S, that has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So in computer science algorithm, we're going to be asking you whether if the set is a partition of the other set. So if I have one set, which is V, that is 1 and 2. Then the other set that is T. So that is 3 and 4 and 5. So in this case, the partition in algorithm, that means V union T, that must be in the set S because V union T, that is the original set from the S. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then V intersect T, that is an empty set. So in this case, we would say V and T are the partition of set S. And then moving forward, it's very simple. For the computer science students, I'm going to be talking about how you can just program on the C++ or whatever Python that shows you if you input a set, and then it will be automatically print out. You can either take the user's input or you can just take the your original sets, and then it's going to give you the answers. If the set is pretty long and it's very difficult to find, and it's probably automatically generate the answer for you. So now let's just come back to the programming part, where I already pre-defined this function that I just explained for you. So the first thing that you need to define, that is IOString, and then you have to including the set, the header set that is set in the library. And we are going to use a vector for this problem, is going to store your data and information on your set. So you have to include vector. And then the next thing is you have to include algorithm. The algorithm is going to be automatically iterate the whole set, which you don't not need to use for loop, like a for I is equal to 0 and I start from the first element to the element, but rather than you just use it's already incremented, just very simple codes for the entire code in order for you to scan the whole code. And then the thing is, first you have to define a function, void function, and I have been explained in my C++ class, void function which you do not return an answer, and you just execute directly. So we define it as in the global area. And so where you have to print the set, um, and then you have to set this as a const, and then you just input the set, and then integer. This is define it as an integer. You can also define it as a double if you wanted to extend this problem. And then the set is going to be s, defined as s. We see this as diff reference. Difference is a pointer that we are trying to point. This is we are referencing the set, the vector, which is the S, we define as S. And then this is for loop, which is actually involved in the algorithm header we already defined. So this is another way that you can write the for loop, which is easier. For int X column S, that means automatically scan the whole set. And then you print out what the set is. Okay, you can also take the user's input. Whether if you want to take the user's input and then can remember what is that, and there's going to be say out, and then it's going to be take the user's input as CIN. Okay, and then the next function is to print out the Cartesian product. Whether if you wanted to include the Cartesian, that is going to be introduced in the linear algebra class. But here we may not include this. We can just comment it out. Then we can just say our main function is going to be input the set, which is S is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the other set is going to be T. So 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the other one is going to be V, 6, 7, 8. So this function is trying to take the, to find the intersection for the two sets. So the set is going to be int, and we define it as an intersection as a function, part of the function. So you iterate from the first element, which is s dot begin. So try to remember this syntax because later on we will be using it a lot in our programming, which is also from this algorithm. Alternatively, you can also use a for loop if you want. If you're a beginner programmer, but it's actually save you a lot of time. Make sure you have the std dot because sometimes if you're a beginning programmer, they want to include this using name space std, but here is not the case if you already have. I recommend people just starting using std because you're not going to later on mess up your running templates if you're using template or if you're using some class, and it's not going to mess up your program. So which is very professional way of defining a function. And then the other thing is set T, and then we are using the same. So the T is going to be begin and then until the end. And then here we just wanted to define the intersection, and then we also iterate from the beginning to the end. And now we just wanted to print out what is the intersection, which is going to be exactly the same elements. Similarly, we will be defining as the union. The union is where you can just set as an inserter. So which is the algorithm that is from this, including set. Okay, the syntax is from that. It will automatically gonna give you the answer for the union. So watch out, this syntax is gonna be union set. S is gonna be alphabet, uppercase alphabet, and union and dot and begin. That means you wanted to do from the first element until the last one. So this is a good thing that for us to remember from the programming. And then you just print out the result. And now let's run the result to see. Okay, here is going to be the case and for us to define. Also here, you can just add whatever new elements you want. It's going to be 6, 8. Now let's see, let's test again. So it's not going to be roughly different. So here, okay, Now, today's class, we just talk about the intervals and the sets and union, intersection, also how it can just reflect and solve the problem in programming. Thank you for watching.